Okay. Hey, everybody. So I'm here with my friend Rob. I wanted to do a video talking about not only depression and mental illness and how becoming a Nutritarian helped Rob, but also there's so much talk about COVID-19, and I have a few questions about that as well. So welcome, Rob. Good to have you here.
Thanks, Rich. It's great to be here. Thanks for taking some time to do this.
No problem. So my first question, since everybody has this COVID-19 on their mind, what are things like in your state? Because I know you live in Wisconsin. Are things pretty much locked down there?
Right. I haven't really been doing a lot of shopping lately, Rich. I haven't been out in a lot of the stores, so I really don't know. For the most part, I have been able to purchase the foods that I've wanted to, so that's been a good thing. Our shelves here, I think, like toilet paper and paper products are still kind of bare, but it seems like, the produce section is fairly good. Go figure. Right?
I have a theory for that. So, I don't think people are buying healthy foods. I think that's the proof, because it's the same thing in my state. I have such an easy time just getting the foods I need. The same foods I always buy. And yet, people are complaining they can't find meat, and, they're running out of dairy. Things I never buy, I don't have to worry about.
Right. And I know somebody else mentioned this in one of their videos I was watching, one of our friends, same thing. It's like, it's good for you and me, but that means that everybody else isn't eating the produce, which we know is super important for health.
What they don't realize is this is keeping their immune system strong. So if somebody does come in contact with COVID-19, how are they going to fight back if they don't have the tools to fight back with? You need these healthy nutrients to keep your body strong, especially during this time.
Yes, now more than ever. And Dr. Joel Fuhrman just talked about that in his web meeting a couple days ago. So how crucial it is.
It really is. It really is. So speaking of Dr. Fuhrman, I wanted to talk to you about how you first learned about Dr. Fuhrman. That's my first question. Where did you first learn of him? And if you could share your story about that.
So in 2013, I happened to see him on a television show on PBS, which, if I remember correctly, it's been 7 years, but I do remember, it was the 3 Steps to Incredible Health. And when I seen that show, something clicked. So.
And do you remember what that message was? What was it about what he said that resonated with you?
Yeah, for sure. I remember it really well. I loved the straightforward, honest, pragmatic approach that Dr. Joel Fuhrman delivered in his lectures and in his speech and his presentation, and I connected with it right away. I knew, because I had been trying these fad diets on and off for so long, just like most people, for quite a while.
Right.
And, as everybody knows, you gain some weight or lose some weight, then you gain it back again, and it's off and on kind of. So when I seen this, I just knew, it's like a light bulb went off, and I knew this was the answer to me succeeding for once and for all, because it made sense. It's about eating the foods we're designed to eat, and then on top of it, specific foods with the Eat to Live approach that have been backed by research and scientific studies to show that how important these foods are for prevention of cancer and other diseases, as well as losing weight.
Absolutely. Now, before you try the Nutritarian diet, what was your diet like? Did you include many vegetables in your diet? Because I liked vegetables, but I never ate much of them. And,
vegetables? What were they?
All right.
Like most people, what is it? Like 12% of our diet consists of fresh fruits and vegetables. It's terrible. And this is why we have the epidemic that we have, as you know, Rich. And so I was just like anybody else. I would eat a couple vegetables or mainly lean towards fruit. But for the most part, most of my diet was processed. It was terrible. I mean, I would go to bed at night eating a whole pizza. This is no lie. I would eat a whole pizza, drink, what was it, one can of soda if I got lucky, and 2 donuts. That was like my regimen every night, and I gained over 60 pounds in a year.
I know how it is.
Yeah, you know all too well.
Yeah. I mean, I used to eat practically a half a gallon of ice cream every night.
Right.
It's just crazy.
And look how far you came. So yeah, that's awesome.
So, did you find it hard to adjust to the new diet at first? How long do you think it took you to have it really sink in?
I am glad you asked, because people who are watching this video, I want them to know that yes, at first I was learning this lifestyle. This is all new, and it took some time. It was 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But what I really want people to know is that I didn't have the resources and that were available like they are now. I wasn't surrounding myself with those, such as Facebook groups like Eat to Live and Dr. Joel Fuhrman's website, drfuhrman.com, and all of these amazing videos that he puts out and lectures, and surrounding yourself with people like you, Rich, and all of our friends who are living this lifestyle. And so those are what keep you not only motivated, but just connected, and they help inspire you and motivate you. And then, of course, tons of information. So the short answer is, had I been given the information that I've been able to learn in this, environment, it would have been so much easier.
Oh, for sure. I'd also like to talk about your depression, because I know you said you had depression for years, and how bad was it? Were you on antidepressants? And I'm sure this lifestyle helped you a lot.
Yeah, this is something I'm so passionate about, because not only do I know firsthand, unfortunately, what it's like to live with depression, and I'm talking major depression. I'm talking where you can't even get yourself out of bed, and no matter what happens in your life, you feel hopeless. So it was bad, and when I had first started implementing this lifestyle, Eat to Live, of Dr. Joel Fuhrman's, I picked up the book, read it, within a day or two, and started doing some of this stuff, and, it didn't happen immediately, but I would honestly say probably in a week or two, I started noticing some little changes, some little benefits. I had a little more, my mood improved slightly, and, and then over time, a period, maybe a month or two, I started kind of getting my life back and feeling some normal again, whatever normal is, right?
Right. Yeah, that's great to hear. Food really does heal, and I want people to understand that message. Now, were you, I think you were on antidepressants, I think you mentioned before. Now, did they adjust the dosage as your depression improved? Or how did that work?
I had been working with my doctor closely and monitoring, the medications. First of all, I was on many medications over the years, because you would try one and, it seemed like it would work, and you have a little benefit for a little while, and then things start going back and you start falling in this trap again, and you got to try a new medication. And so it's, so it was trial and error with minimal success for me. And again, I'm not saying that this is the way it is for everyone, but for a lot of people, this is where they find themselves, and you find yourself stuck.
Oh, for sure. Do you have any advice for others that are looking to start the Nutritarian plan? Where do people start, do you think? What's the easiest way to start this?
Right. Well, the biggest thing that I would mention is to pick up the book Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman, which is a New York Times bestselling book, as you know, Rich, and read that cover to cover. I mean, I've literally read it probably 4 or 5 times, and I continue to just keep referring back to it because it's packed with the information that you need. And then look for Facebook groups, look for YouTube videos, look for podcasts. I mean, Dr. Joel Fuhrman mentions that we live in this unprecedented time with all of this amazing information and these tools and resources available to us. So in order to be really successful, I think it's very important that we utilize these things, these resources.
Absolutely. And he's also right. I remember him mentioning recently that we never had so much abundance of foods available to us. There are so many varieties of vegetables and fruits that many of our ancestors never would have found because of, it's local for one area. And look at the amount of food that we have available. And people need to start taking advantage of that in order to get a vast majority of the nutrients.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Rich, because that was the other point I was going to throw in, is exactly what you said. I mean, we have this abundance of all of these amazing foods, literally thousands of fruits and vegetables on this planet, and we're only eating just a small portion. Most people are. We're barely touching. So I always say, like, let's say one particular food or produce has some health benefits to it. Can you imagine if you were eating hundreds of these foods? Can you imagine how healthy you might be?
Exactly.
And the weight loss, and so I just wanted to add that.
Yeah.
It's just that people that deal with depression and anxiety disorders work with your doctor, but I'm really hoping that you can work with him and he's supportive of nutritional therapies, nutritional science, which most doctors are probably not supportive of that because they don't know. They don't know this information. They're not taught this in med school. But I have talked to people who have been fortunate enough to be able to work with their doctors so that they can benefit from this lifestyle, and then just kind of work with them to monitor your progress. And if you, for instance, decide to go off of a medication, work with them and then monitor your progress and see by implementing a Nutritarian lifestyle, a whole food plant-based lifestyle, if things start coming together and your mood starts improving. So it's just a matter of working with them closely, I think. Right. At least that's probably the best advice I would give.
I have to say that it's very important. My doctor, he originally prescribed high blood pressure pills, blood pressure medication. I worked with him. I said I didn't want to take the pills, and they are willing to work with you. One question I have about your doctor: did he ever hear of Dr. Fuhrman and the Nutritarian lifestyle? Or did you mention it to him right away? Or?
No. And I had been seeing my doctor for several years, so he knew me probably 10, 15 years, and he's wonderful. I mean, but the same thing, even though he was a believer and he's very supportive of this lifestyle, he never mentioned Dr. Fuhrman's name, or I don't think he's aware of Eat to Live, or of any of these things. Just like most people, they have to be informed of this lifestyle, just like you and I have come to know. And it's not getting out enough. PBS, thank goodness, has been able to raise $70 million. Dr. Joel Fuhrman has with his specials, and featured on hundreds of radio and television shows. So many of these experts in plant-based nutrition are finally able to share this message with the public, and it's super important. So word is getting out. Things are changing, as you know, Rich. People are going more plant-based every day as we speak.
Right, and doctors aren't taught this initially in med school, as you know. So. It's important for these plant-based doctors to get the message out there, which I think they're doing an excellent job.
Dr. Amazing. There are heroes,
Dr. Greger, another hero. They all are heroes because they really are teaching everybody. I don't know where I'd be without them. Especially Dr. Fuhrman. He was my first go-to doctor for the lifestyle living. And I know you eat the G-Bombs foods every day as well. That's what I'm doing. And you're not having any trouble. I think we talked about that at the beginning, finding your foods, right? All the G-Bombs.
No, not finding them. You know, the greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. We've been fortunate, at least in this area. When you go to find strawberries or blackberries or whatever, most of them are available, and yeah, like I say, I have mixed thoughts on that, because although it's a good thing for us, that tells you that hello, there's something wrong here. Exactly. That people are not looking at food to help. To whether it be preventing the COVID-19 epidemic, or at least reducing the chances of getting it, or whatever. I mean, they're not connecting these foods to health and then implementing them in their diet, and that's where there's that disconnect, and that's what's tragic, I think. Whether it be heart disease, obesity, cancer, this epidemic, and on and on and on. There's a link. Definitely, there's a link, and there's all kinds of studies to show. So. And
the scary thing is, after this pandemic, it's not like we're out of the woods. We have to always be mindful of our health. There will be other viruses. I hope they're never as extreme as this one, but your health always has to be priority. You need a strong immune system. How are you going to have a strong immune system if you're eating McDonald's every day, or eating all this garbage out there? You have to take care of yourself. You really should prepare for the next pandemic. Hopefully it don't come, but you need to stay strong.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so for me, and maybe you, Rich, this is like a wake-up call. This is for a lot of people. It's like, okay, we need to start doing things differently. Maybe the way I'm eating isn't supportive of my health right now. And it's putting that risk. So I'm really hoping with these experts, and just people that are involved in the whole food plant-based community, that this message starts, people start connecting the dots and start making some changes.
Well, I do see some positive things out there. I know people aren't finding meat, which they think is a negative. But this is forcing people to live a plant-based lifestyle in a way. Maybe it's not perfect for them, and they're not happy about it. But I'm hoping that they'll see, hey, I don't feel that bad, or maybe I'm starting to feel good because they have to eat beans and other sources of protein, and they'll realize that it's not that bad. And I'm hoping that they'll get the message that way as well.
Right. And you know what it's like, because you lived it, just like most people, when you eat these animal products, and especially when you're eating them in larger amounts, how it makes you feel. You have no energy, you're tired, you're lethargic. Your digestive system has to work overtime to process those foods.
Exactly.
And you switch to a plant-based lifestyle, it's just the opposite. Then you get all the energy, then you're running around like a rabbit, and you have... I know you ran a half marathon, Rich, after losing all your weight and half of your body weight practically. It's amazing. But these foods give you that energy and the vitality and what you need, the tools, in order to do that.
I'm glad you said that, because I can't imagine running if I ate like I did back then. That's why I didn't run, I guess, because how would you have the energy?
I've said that in the videos, that a few of the videos I've done, if you didn't have, most people, they'll tell you to go work out at the gym, okay? Work out so you lose the weight, eat less. Well, if you don't have the energy and the motivation, and you're so tired, and you can't get yourself hardly out of bed in the mornings because you got to get up to go to work, but that's all the energy you have, how are you going to have the energy then to work out at the gym?
Exactly. Which I didn't. Yeah.
So it starts with the food.
Yeah, it really does.
It's the food.
Yeah. Now, I know they closed gyms probably all across the country, pretty much. I was a, regular 5 days a week workout. I've adjusted at home. I bought some weights and things. I'm running outside. What have you been doing for exercise? I know your job keeps you busy too, so you probably don't have to worry about it as much. But are you able to stay active during this time?
Well, prior to all of this stuff happening with the COVID-19 epidemic, I had been working out at the gym, and I tried to be consistent as much as I can. Honestly, I have to say that that's been slacking now, because as I called my gym, of course they're closed. I need to call again and find out. They were supposed to reopen here in central Wisconsin, but whether they did or not, that was like a week ago. I doubt if they did, because a lot of these facilities are still closed, right, Rich?
Yeah,
I mean,
at least in Connecticut, I think they're closed till May 20th, and that's at least they're saying.
Yeah. So
because once it reaches this peak, they still don't want it to spread after that. So even though it's going to come down within the next few weeks, that I think is crucial. It'll probably be the whole month of May, is my guess, and then we'll start opening things up. That's my guess, but don't quote me on that.
Right. And so with the warmer weather now. And spring and summer coming. Yeah. Now I plan to be out there hitting the pavement and doing some running and just, but I don't have the weights at home, so, I use the strength training at the gym. So yeah, hopefully things will be turning around soon. That's all we can hope and pray for. But in the meantime, we just got to be creative, right? And,
exactly. And I had to cut my hair today, actually. That's the first time I ever cut it myself, so.
It looks good. It looks really good. I mean, I don't know what I'd look like if I did that, but you did a good job, Rich.
Thanks. I do have to say, because you're bringing up the spring weather, I've read a few articles, and I do believe it's true. I'm no scientist, but I know that the virus is harder to spread during the summer weather with the humidity, and I do hope that that will help open up the country some more. I know it probably won't go away completely yet, but I do have hope. I think it's important to keep hope alive, and I think that probably by May, when it starts to get really warm, we'll notice a big difference. At least that's my theory.
We'll get through this. We'll get through this together, like we have with all these other epidemics, and most people have. But it's just reaching out to others via media, internet, and staying connected that way, and loving people that you love and reaching out to them, but doing it in a different way, of course, right now.
I think communicating like this is important. I'd like to reach out to you again in a few weeks and see how your state's doing and how you're doing with the the shopping and everything that we have to do, social distancing, and it'd be good to stay in touch during this time. So if
that'd be super.
That in a few weeks.
I'd love that.
Okay, that's all the questions I have, but I'd like to tell everybody to stay healthy and keep up the great work, Rob, and keep going with that lifestyle. I know it works, and I know you agree that it works, and we encourage everybody to just at least start with the Eat to Live book and look at some Dr. Fuhrman's videos. Also check out other plant-based doctors like Dr. Greger's nutritionfacts.org. All those are great resources. And,
Dr. Esselstyn and Michael Clapper and Neil Bernard. I mean, all these amazing people. Wow, they're out there. They're saving lives. That's what they're doing.
Really are.
Simply put, they're saving and changing lives. Really so we can't thank them enough.
Exactly. Okay, so stay healthy, everybody, and we'll be in touch.
Sounds great, Rich. Thanks so much. Have an amazing day.
Yep, you too.